Hey guys, I thought today I would have enough interesting things to show off, and I'm going to try and make a rocket, heat-seeking rocket type weapon, basically. Um, I spent the last couple days trying to get the shield particles to look really cool. As previously they've just been, some particle effects that follow the bots around, which is all well and good, but it just doesn't look very good. So with that in mind, I followed a tutorial for um what do you want to call it, for like doing that kind of thing, a shield particle effect. It was a lot more elaborate, but the material that you get out of it does almost exactly what I was hoping for. So let me show you this. So I'm not going to go over this because I don't have a bloody clue how it works. This is all quite new to me, this kind of stuff. I mean, so there's a lot of timesing, a lot of adding things and stuff, but generally speaking, we have noise generation, and then we have a raw texture, and we're basically, man, we have a panner that makes the material pulse and things. And then we have a wipe value, which is, I believe, a percent of how much of the material it should show, as well as an exponent to exaggerate it. So if I just quickly show you what this looks like in, oh god, where's the mouse? On an actual instance I can control. Haha. So, if I, there we go, stop it from doing that. So we've got this, this is what the material looks like when applied to my shield. So if I just open up my shield model, it is literally a, oh, where did I put it? Why is it not in, is it here? It's here, there we go. Oh right, yeah, I've assigned it the that material. If I instead put it back to this. Okay, so all I did is I went into Cubicle and I made this. Right, I literally just made a massive ass sphere, and that's it. So if I go back to this, so this is all the parameters in the material that are available to us. And let's say, so the exponent is controlling how much of the color comes through. So the higher the exponent, the less color. So if I put it to say 10, and I full screen this, I Control R. Let's stop it from doing that real quick. There we go. Right, I want to do this. So if I change the wipe value to 0, so you can see it's coming across and all the voxel sort of cubes on the tops and the sides. I believe it's is it just the tops? I'll put that back. So if we change the white value, you can see it kind of rises and falls as it goes from minus to plus. And the idea is we automate this in the code using just a float that gets bigger up to a point and then it resets back to 0. It doesn't pulse up and down, it just kind of pulses up and up and up kind of thing. And then we set the exponent to something ridiculous, and then it kind of like lessens the blue. So you can kind of make it more subtle and things. And then if you use the texture distortion, you can make it so it looks all pulsy and things, which is pretty cool, especially if we set it to this, and then when it wipes like that, it does some crazy things, but that actually gives a bit too much. However, if we add this makes the material move in real space. So it uses the UV of the model, and then it essentially randomly moves its position. So let's make this really extreme, and there you go. You've got absolute insanity, whilst this would be doing that. And in fact, we can see this in game. So on the models, if I leave it at this setting, it shouldn't change. So if I hit play, you can see that the shields are just crazy now, but they look really cool. That's the important bit, and they still function like they did before. But now I've made the shields be the color of the team. So if I scroll out a lot, you can see there's a white one, a blue one, yellow one, and the purple ones. And you may also notice I've made the projectiles based on the team colors as well. So all I've done is made a new particle effect, which is this trail system 2, which I bring in here, which is just a dynamic beam. And all I had to do was mess around with the width a bit, and then there's which is this curve here, which makes it look like that. And there was it in the spawn beam end? So the X value is where it is relative to where the end is relative to the start, and the start will of course be the projectile, and the positive X makes it go in front of the projectile, so I made it minus X, and that's it. And they're all the same length. And if I close, are we just in this? Yeah, okay, that'll do. You can, if I find when they're shooting, haha, awesome. There we go. And I hid the actual projectile mesh as well, so all you see is the particle effects. But if I select one, I wonder if I can turn it on. That would be, oh yeah. There we go. So that's what it actually is. And then we're going to collide with that. And I made the projectiles slightly larger because they seem to be about the right width of the projectiles here. So it's not just a pinprick on the end. So it made the combat a little more consistent. You didn't have to aim quite as much. And there you go. You just got a wonderful mash of colours coming up. However, these particle effects, they're very cool. You don't really get to see them very much from the perspective the game's played in at the moment. So I will tweak that at some point. But our FPS is improved. We're now consistently around 25, 26. Whereas the previous shield particles were dropping us to like 15, 14, so... And I believe the projectiles are a bit more efficient as well. So that's the main things I've done, and it looks really cool. It's made the game easier to see who's who, and just generally a bit more like a space lasery kind of game, you know, which is awesome. Which is always the end result of this. So, with that in mind, I'm going to create a new weapon. So I'm going to make a heat-seeking rocket. because I've already figured out how I'm going to do it. And it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're basically in the tick method of the projectile. We're going to rotate the mesh. Hopefully that will work. Rotate the projectile to face a different direction. And then change the rotation rate so it doesn't just aimbot towards its target. You should be able to evade them, but the idea will be when it does hit, it does an AoE explosion and it also does a lot of damage. So, with that in mind, a new C++ class, and we're going to want to make another weapon. Call it rocket launcher because reasons. Because we're going to make a new projectile class as well. Gotta wait until Visual Studio goes, I've changed. Do something about it. Hopefully. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna reload. Oh, yep. And hopefully we've ended up with... Oh, good grief. Why am I in here? Rocket launcher. There we go. Excellent. Right, so just like the other weapons, we're going to need the same initial setup. So if I go into here and here. So instead of laser, steal this. We're going to... Oh, it's doing the can't copy and paste bug. That's fun. Thanks. Oh yeah, actually, whilst I'm here, this is what the shields could look like if I wasn't using the voxel 3D model that I made. But I thought to be in keeping with the style, it'd be quite cute to have voxel-based shields as well, which I think it is. Did I just load the wrong project? Yes. Intriguing. Wow, I did put a lot of work into this actually. I might come back to this. Right, round two. That one. God, I wish I could convert my my old MMO-esque project and get that working again. Right, let's do this. That's interesting. That's what it did, okay. Actually, whilst I'm here, there we go. Right. Rocket launch. What's this? Okay, and then we come into laser. I want to do this as well. Rockets. And a copy of this. Now I may be able to, and I think I mentioned this before, do this with a template method, possibly. Deal with this. So, we need a couple things. Most importantly, we need to override the tick method. So, yes, that's a good point. Sorry, I need the projectile. I need to make another type of projectile first. and we can do this again. I'm honestly surprised this compiles. But whatever. Okay, and then we're just gonna go tools, new class, all classes, drone, projectile. So it's going to be rocket, but I mean, is a rocket going to be anything other than a projectile? Probably not. And then we don't need the character, but we do need the projectile class. Am I blind? Am I not? How am I not seeing this? There we go. Okie doke. So we need this. Really need to sort this stuff out. We got rocket. So I don't believe this actually does anything in here. Oh yes. I kind of already did the code for this. Okay, intriguing. So we're gonna create another property on the projectile. Um. Why? Oh, right, we've got protected up there. Hang on. I don't know why the trail and stuff is up there, but there we go. Blah 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 blah. Might as well. That shouldn't be public. I don't think it should be public. Yeah, okay, let's just get rid of this because I know what this does. Okay, so the only real difference between us and this is firstly we want this to grief. So we want that. Right. There we go. And now we create that. We override this because we want to change what happens when we hit something. Okay, so in theory, all we're having to do is get a look at rotation. Same as we were doing before with making the AI look at their targets and set the rotation of this to face it in theory. So, with that in mind, firstly we need something to look at. So we are going to add a property in here, which is going to be a throw an RPG character target. And we're going to create some getters and setters. Capture the field. Really need to change this so I don't have to keep doing that. Very annoying. Okay, so now we've got that target. Let's think. Okay, we need to go into the rocket. And I put that inside the base class just so it's there. Want to include our function library. We then want to do on tick. Let's think. We want a sharing characters. Trans equal characters in world. Blah blah blah. Intriguing. No, that's not what I was doing. Thank you very much. And I'm pretty sure we're an actor that's got get world function. I would be amazed if we didn't. So now we basically want to steal the same premise from the AI. This part here. I can actually get rid of that now. So we're doing exactly the same thing. Oh, look at that. It works right. Okie doke. So we don't need that. We don't need that. And the distance is going to be, let's say 1,000. It's going to be get shooter. Okay, so this is how we find our target. So we do in target is null. And then we extract this to a method because we can. Why not? Oh, too many closing. Not enough. There we go. Add an extra parenthesis. Okay. Oh, you're joking. Why have I done this? Right, let's do this again. There we go. Right. Line target. Oh, you are fucking joking. I don't understand that. So it's going to be a little inefficient, to say the least. Blah, blah, blah. Scan for everything. blah blah blah, find an enemy. And then we have this. Okay, and then we also want what do we need to change? We have the rocket launcher needs to fire specifically that kind of projectile. And the weapon. Okay. So in the weapon here, I want to do this and we call it rocket. So it's going to do the base class is super first and then us. So it will fail to find this because of course we haven't made it yet because we couldn't have. But in theory, if I get rid of oh wait. That's not what I told you to do. Get rid of the AI controller. Don't think we need the weapons still, but we also want to do this. We want to make our rockets move a bit slower. So we're gonna create our constructor. Need to move it 3000. Might be a bit too slow, might not be. But we're gonna set their lifespan to 4 seconds. Give them a better odds. Blah blah blah. Find target. Oh, hang on. I know what happened here. Okay. Let's just build this and see what happens. And then we need to do this as well. Well, we don't actually. Fact is irrelevant. Let's start this up and we can deal with it actually doing stuff when it's oh. Oh right, yeah, you can't do that. My bad. You can't have a new function macro above a overriding method if the base class already has it. Because it will kind of try and compile it twice. Okay, what? They're protected, so we should be able to see them. This is intriguing. What are they? It's protected. U projectile movement. Undefined type. My bad. We need to add the includes, I guess. That will be why. Probably that. Okay, we need character as well. Round 2. Yep, okay. We'll get. Right. Stop. But I'm seeing all sorts of problems here. Huh? Okay. Anything else I've forgotten? No, right. That's my bad. Alright, apparently so. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, what else have we broken? Look at Kismet Library. English. Ah. Oh, that's all that. Get team. Right. Probably cleared out a few more. God's sake, what? Hides. Wait. Make that drone hit. You build. To be fair, we have made 2 classes and linked loads of things together, so this is bound to happen. Oh. Fuck's sake. I cannot convert to Hmm. Undefined use component. I think we're screwing it over in there. Not this. This. I think that's what's doing it. Nope. We need to obviously include that. There we go, right. Sorry about that. Yep, cool. We expected that. So we now need to actually make the rocket projectile, which is just going to be a straight copy of the current one. Literally just duplicate rocket. I think I need to open it so it compiles it. And then in theory, oh wait, no, what am I doing? Sorry. We need blueprint class of the rocket. And then that's not right. Hold that, save it. Okay, parent class rocket, and then we stop this entirely. We reload and hope to God this works. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we got that. They look identical to me. And then we go into the wondrous world of function library. You go into here, and then we go to the rocket, and we go new rocket launcher. Great rocket launcher. Right then. Let's see. So that should do the trick. Recompile the code. So it's not going to do anything when it hits someone, but it should function. Build failed. You rocket. Oh right, yeah. Duh. The imports. Okay. Now the only way to test. So we need to guarantee that something's got one, and one of them does. Okay, and then we need to go into the rocket and see if this ever recurs. So something's got a rocket launcher. Wow. So let's see if we can go into locals, this projectile, shooter, drone character C. Okay, and then we pause. C3, I believe. 12 to 13, 3. Okay, so you can see there the projectile is firing and it's pointing towards the enemy bot. I'm going to use this, I think. So we can see it. It's firing like little jagged spikes. So the velocity's not changing. But it's definitely functional, right? You can see that the shots are heading they're pointing straight at the target. So we need to do a bit more. So how do we approach this? So I this is where I fall a bit flat. Um, so we're going to we probably don't want rotation follows velocity. That sounds like a bad thing given that we're manipulating that. Okay, so in the base projectile, you've got gravity, what should bounce, the update component. So we're probably interested in the movement. And I think when we spawn the projectiles, do we do anything? No, so it just spawns it, and then I'm guessing it gets that initial velocity, initial speed there. Ah, it's got one built in. Um, okay, let's try the built-in system then. Okay, that's cool. And we don't want to keep setting the target. And then we saw something else, which is homing acceleration magnitude. Let's set that to 1,000 and see what happens. Okay, I kind of guess I didn't assume that that would be a thing. So we don't need the base projectile anymore. We don't need the constructor or the function library. Okay, so if I recompile the code, huh, that's really convenient. Ooh. Hmm. That is a weak pointer to a using component. Hmm. Okay, I've not encountered weak pointers before. Well, we know this works. So we would just have to add some force here. Okay, so this is saying types pointed to are unrelated. Conversion requires reinterpret cast. Okay, let's look up weak pointers real quick. Um, okay. Looks like it's just a constructor. See if that does it. Ooh. Wait, so this is... right, we're in here. I think we're missing... Ah, stop it. What? Oh, for fuck's sake. Use scene component. Cannot convert. Hmm. It doesn't help. Are we not technically a scene component? Is that the problem? Because in theory this should work. I think based on this, it's got an equals with a U object. But there's also um blah blah reference subject. Yeah, okay, so I'm not doing anything inherently wrong. That seems to be the way it's intended. Just this isn't a scene component, so is that right? So this is expecting UE4. Is it the roots? That's the scene component, is it? Yes, it is. It's the roots. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, now let's see. Wonderful. Still need to know if it worked at all, which is why we have this, and we can get the name. Okay, so if we run, right, he's got one, number 8. Let's find it. Oh, it's this one. We can use this preview window again. Okay, 2 of them have it. Are they? They are definitely seeking. Curious. I think it's working. They seem to be arcing. I really ought to make them do damage. It's very hard to tell because the drones typically are stationary and don't move around a lot if they don't take damage. So let's do that, shall we? So we go straight into the projectile class, yoink all of the code. Where are we looking? Drone projectile, there we go. We steal this. We're going to change it slightly so that if this is the K, when this occurs, we do an area explosion, basically. Shouldn't be too far-fetched. Hmm. Actually, you know what? Let's also change the radius that this is searching. Make it really big so it's really apparent that it's found something. And then we're going to go back into the rocket launch here. I feel like I should just output a string or something, but number 8 again. Which that doesn't look right. Oh, wait, let's stop. Okay. We want to know stop entirely. Number 2. So they're hitting and doing damage. Okay, so perhaps the rockets aren't moving fast enough. So let's just see if anyone's got an example. Interesting. This is working out trajectory and that trying to figure out how to go in front of something. Nice. Very interesting stuff. Might come on to that later. um okay, so is there anything else? The magnitude of our acceleration towards... Hang on. That might have something to do with it. Okay, let's leave it as that and see if that fixes the problem, because that could be the one and only issue that we have. Because now it's going to rotate to face the direction it's heading. There we go, somebody's got one. It's number 8. Wait, let me pause. I need to change the camera speed because this is getting a little difficult. So they definitely seem to be functioning. Sort of. Okay, so they're not curving enough. We do want them to be somewhat threatening, so let's try changing this to something like ridiculous. It's always good to go to extremes on properties because it proves whether or not it actually makes a difference. Because if it now rotates to face the enemy and just immediately point blank teleports to them, then we know it's made an impact on the actual game. Are we being unlucky or have I uncommented the yeah, I am being an idiot. Here we go. 12. There's 3 rocket launchers in here. So they're kind of slow. they're not working. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I'll look into specifically that way of doing it, but later on. But we know that this works, so if I do this, set that to false, comment that out. Okay, so we know this works, and all we need to do is go theory, add force, what's our forward rotation? Let's just see what this does. it's gonna throw us off at a weird angle, and then I'll try and figure out what our forward vector and stuff is. I mean, it's certainly doing something. I suppose we can do this. Um, see what that does. Okay. So this one's definitely got them. And that. Oh dear. Oh, I have an idea. Vector force equals it's something like rotate vector force. But instead of this, let's force and radial compares. Oh, let's get rid of that, just in case. Buoyancy, that's cool. Okay, there's a lot. So I'm going to leave it at that and see what that does. um, I mean, given what the projectiles do at the moment, should be pretty self-explanatory to see who's got one. They don't. That looks a bit different. Ah, there we go. Okay, this guy's definitely. I think it's this one. Yep. Hmm. um. Hmm. Interesting. So they work going forwards, and then they pivot round afterwards. They kind of don't really work at all. So let's think. Let's keep this simple. Okay. Um. So forward vector, normalize it, times it by the amount, add force. Okay, let's try that. We can only go wrong. Forward vector. Um. Or stop. Normalize. Tolerance. So we normalize it and then something like that. Which is probably closer anyway. So They're still... um, oh, Lord have mercy. This is interesting. Okay. Did I do this in the right order? Forward, normalize it, multiply it. Ah, right, this is just going to be me looking up maps and stuff, I think. Probably isn't very interesting to watch, so I will probably call it there. I'm going to have to do some editing because someone came to the door and I rambled on about something else. So I will go and do that and research this. It's very interesting. So functionally we turn to face the right direction. Now I just need to figure out how to get the force to do its thing. I mean, the projectiles are still hitting things and doing damage, so yeah. And all we wanted to do when we hit was we'd do the same thing here. We'd basically do this. And it would be drone hit. And we want like 1,000 radius. And then instead of this, we do that. And we're basically looping through all the drones, 1,000 radius from the thing that we hit, checking if they're our enemies. If they are, we do some damage. So it's the radius from the thing that we hit to the drone. If it's less, we do that. And we do drone, receive hit. Yeah, that should do the trick. Okay, I will call it there. But this is cool. I've got my new fancy shield particles, which are awesome. These little pulsing things. Wonderful. And I intend to change the health as well. I'm going to make a shader that's the color of the team. Am I a shader that's their health basically. And it will start green and then go orange and then red, etc. as it does already with the particles. But yeah, I will figure out this force kind of stuff, see if I can get that working, and then we should have working homing missiles. So I'll see you guys around.